Hello, it is Cosmo Star, and this is Demo Podcast with your host, Cosmo Star. So today is very unusual. Today is very, what's the word? I just had the word. I'll think about it later, but it's just very hectic in my mind right now because I'm what I'm doing right now. So basically, I'm in my class, electronic music, and I decided to do a demo podcast for experimental reasons. I don't know. Like last night, I just wanted to think of something that I could do in this class besides doing just the work that I have been doing. And I just thought of like, what if I just did a podcast? And sure enough, and that's why I'm here today, basically. So before I get into it, I have to do a disclaimer. So right now, there is the word that I'm thinking of. I am very overstimulated right now. My anxiety is through the roof because I'm literally talking in a microphone and I set up the things I need to do in order for this podcast to work. So it's very overstimulating in my mind and like just a lot of anxiety, but I know I'm going to get through this. Also, I just wanted to let and I'm not alone. There's students, colleagues in this class. So even though they're not going to be, I'm not mentioning any names or whatnot. I just wanted to say that because that's also the reason why I'm very overstimulated. But I just want also I just wanted to thank my teacher for letting me do this because I told him that I just wanted to do like something different and man, and I just wanted to do this opportunity or whatnot because I have, and also I wanted to do something out of the norm to not be comfortable, not to be always comfortable. Like I want to do something outside of my like normal thing so that I can do more things and not having to worry about nervousness or whatnot. So right now, talking is just so far it's okay. I'm actually like my anxiety levels going down. But anyways, I just wanted to say that. And also I'm gonna get into some topics that I have filled out on this um Apple computer, which I really don't like this, yeah, no shade, but I like Microsoft or Dell and Apple is a little bit too strict or whatnot. But I'm working with what I got. So I have Logic Pro up, and then I have Google Docs, and I have all these topics. So other than that, let's begin. So talk about me. So my name is Cosmo Star, if you didn't know. Musician, love fashion, um, singer, piano player. Um, what else? Um, that's it. Those are the most things. Those are the top things I do. Okay. Um, so my next topic is temporary pause on making YouTube videos and content because I'm young and only have one life. So I asked myself, you know, you told yourself from the beginning of, or actually from the end of this year, that you weren't going to do any more videos and more content because of the situation that you're in. And then look at where I'm at now. Like I made so many videos, and also from the exception of because I had that Dell Water Gap concert, I did have to record for that. But everything else was not necessary. But also I went to that festival. It was the Ostrich Festival, and it's on my YouTube, and it's coming soon. It's coming out, and I just recorded another really talented artist that I will be mentioning later in this podcast. But credible artist, credible event. I wasn't expecting myself to do that, but because I just wanted to finish off with just having fun, and also I wanted to go on rides and stuff like that. So That is the reason why. But further on, I there's like this like momentum that I always have and will forever stay inside me. Like the reason why I have these videos out that I wasn't going to do is because I love making content. But the issue is that it's a lot of work, and it's more like I want to do it's more like viewership. Like, and I given myself a chance, like from even making this YouTube channel, I said, first of all, don't worry about the views, don't worry about all that stuff. Just make what you do, make whatever kind of content you want to make for at least a year. Give it a shot and see where you end with it. And so, I mean, I'm proud of the work I have done, but I want to do something else that will get me out there more, if that makes sense. So, and yeah, and and I'm very young, and I wanted to look back on on the stuff that I do, not just the YouTube content, but the things I have done in order to be at the position I am here today, being at college and taking my music classes, and then eventually next year being able to graduate and have an associate's degree of popular music, and then eventually transferring to ASU. That's a lot of hard work and dedication that I have put that I have put myself through, and the time to come here and also and then to go home, eat a rest, and then the next day go to my other my job, and then come here, and then repeat, repeat, repeat. So yeah, and I only have one life, so I got to do the fun things, because later on, it could be different. It doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's gonna be different. So other than that, let's talk about toxic masculinity. Okay. So I have a story. So this happened like a few days ago where I was at I'm not going to say the location, but I was at some warehouse, and I see this guy sometimes a couple of times when I go there. And I've been having an eye on him because sometimes he wears these kinds of cool shirts and stuff. And so like one the on that day I was like I don't know, I wouldn't call it butterflies, but I just was like, my mind was like, you should go up to him and then tell him about that shirt that you saw a few weeks ago, and asking if do you know what the shirt that I'm talking about. And I was like wanting to ask like if you can search it up because I may want a shirt like that. So then I was like, F it, let's just go up to him. So I went up to him. I was like, excuse me, sorry for disturbing you and stuff. And I told him, like, you had wore like a race car shirt like a few days ago. And I really like I really like those type of cars. I don't know, it was like a vintage car or something. And then he was very nice, and he actually like I gave him my phone, like, can you look it up? And he like, sure. And then I got you. And he looked it up, and then I was like, okay. And then he told me about, I forgot the name of the NASCAR driver, but they have multiple NASCAR drivers, and they have like different types of merch and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, that. And he was explaining that. But also, I thought it was very interesting that he mentioned like who created or whatever. I don't forgot, but like the creator of that company, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know which Michael it is. I don't know if it's Michael Jordan or Michael B. Jordan. And the only information I know is like they're two black men and they're very talented. So that's all I know. But I was like, okay, that's very interesting. And then I told them thank you, because I actually really I was thinking of getting like just one like like t-shirt that has a car on it and stuff. And yeah, and then And that's pretty much it. But the reason why I brought up toxic masculinity is because I see something in me like whenever, first of all, there was no like red signs when talking to him or whatnot. He was very nice and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say, like, toxic masculinity is very toxic. Clearly, it says in the name. But whenever I talk to people and I know how I present, I present a little bit more feminine than masculine, but I do have both. And so whenever I like go out and then be social, I see myself, and I have already seen this many of times. I usually talk to like women more than men and stuff, and then it's more like kind of um easy to talk to women than men because sometimes I don't know about these men, like these men these days, they don't. It's like when if like for me because I say I have a little bit more feminine than masculine. Not to be like dramatic or anything, but I have like a very high voice. So sometimes when these toxic men have like these things in their mind, like because a young guy or a man who have a high voice, that's like something bad or something that's not normal, or they'll just straight out say like that's gay. And I'm like, how do you know that? Like, where do you get this information? Like, this is not logical. Like, it's not. It's just your opinion, your dirty, shitty opinion. Um, but um, but when I talk to women, like, I don't have a problem with that because there is a difference between men and women, and like women are able to communicate more, and like even though like not every woman is going like woman to woman it's gonna be the same one on one like thinking the same way, but it's a different experience than like with a man. Like a man is the men's world is like in order to get in you have to like pass a test or something. Women are more like as I don't know, like accessible, but like they're like more welcoming for if that makes sense. So, but talks the toxic masculinity is still a problem. It has been a problem. It affects women and it also affects men. For example, if like if men are holding hands, like those toxic men are gonna say like that's gay or like I'm not with that gay shit. And it's just like it's not that deep, first of all. And also, it's not always like that. I think we need to have more conversations. Like, men needs to have like there needs to be a pool a sit down full of men. There needs to be like good men and then toxic men, and then there needs to be a discussion because I think when we have more discussions like this, there's no there wouldn't be any more stereotypes of like how men perceives men or how women or like those bad men how they see women, same sex or above all anything else, or like how a woman should treat her, or how a woman um should like like what they should what they think a woman should do or not do, and not have these standards. And because it does hurt our everyone, it hurts our society. And like me mentioning like men and men holding hands shouldn't be a problem, or men kissing together, that shouldn't be a problem. Like you don't even know their sexuality, like you're just assuming that they're gay. Like what if they're pan, what if they're demisexual, or what if they're or women, whether they're lesbian, same thing. Like two women could be pansexual. It's just like a spectrum, but they don't want to like focus on that. They just are just head. I don't know what the figurative is, but like they're just like men and women, nothing else. Like they're just strict, and it's there should be more talks around and conversations so we can not have that toxic masculinity in this world. And also, I wanted to say that when, like what is going on in this world right now is because of men's actions. It's because of men's actions. It's because of how men are they're they're so they think they're better than any other um uh minority. It's just like we should be able to have everyone succeed and express themselves, because right now it's very crazy and hectic, and it it's because the majority it's because of men's attitude and how they, it's men, you know and I'm not saying that because you're a man you're bad. It's just if you have these views, and these views have some effect to minority things, like with gay people, with women, and etc. And people of color. That's what I just wanted to say. Okay, moving on. Oh, I also wanted to say this because I think this is also like, tea, that, also society, like when women are having babies and they're not able to, sometimes help themselves, because it's not and then the men try to blame it on the women because they can't help themselves. It's because of the men, and also society telling forcing them or whatever, for them not to succeed, for not. And it doesn't have to be like if a woman has a baby. It's just, in general, that, you know because society has put women in a bad place, and it still exists, but it needs to not be like that, so that, women can thrive and not having to, you know um rely on the system, and I think, and I wanted to be very clear when I say this, that birth control, I know there's birth control, that I know women take birth control, but we need birth control for men, period. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, like if, say, like a man, gets a woman pregnant, and then the man that's like, you know what, I don't want this baby anymore, like I don't, I'm leaving and stuff like that. The woman, and then we should have like a system that, it's that the woman can can benefit off of, and have that baby thrive and stuff, because we shouldn't rely on a man. A woman should not rely on a man to take care of herself. Okay, she should be able to take care of herself because she has the opportunity to, and she's able to. Okay, so let me say this again for people in the back, not talking about people in the classroom, but just in this podcast: make birth control for men. Moving on. So masculine and feminine, or masculine fem. So like I just said, I have both of them. So, like for example, whenever I'm wearing just regular boots and shoes, like I think, to me, it gives off masculine, I guess. But if I'm wearing like my Chelsea boots, it's a little bit more feminine, because, like, okay, this is just my opinion, but typically men don't wear like heels with boots or whatnot. It's usually flat, and honestly, that's boring to me. So I need to have a little bit extra height, like I know I'm 6'1", and I'm already tall as it is, but just a little bit, heel. It's not too much, just a little bit heel, and wow, it makes a new it just does something for me. Like, it's not like anything boring or whatnot. It's so amazing. And right now I'm not wearing my boots. I mean, my Chelsea boots, but I'm wearing my regular boots because honestly, I don't want to feel no pain today. That's tomorrow, which I will get into later. Hold on. I just need to log back in because my computer signed out. Please, please. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're logged back in. Okay. So what is masculine to me? Like, if I'm wearing like a regular dress shirt, and what is feminine to me is like wearing a bow, wearing a blouse. Um, and honestly, it doesn't. I'm not always thinking of that. It's just I just do. Like I just exist in what when I put on whatever I feel comfortable. I don't necessarily always have to see gender in clothing, but it's always to have a mixture of both. And and same thing of like putting on makeup. Like if I honestly make I don't wear that much makeup. And the makeup that I do it's like to hide like bruises on my face because of acne stuff. Not to be like full on glam because that's not my style of face or serving face. I like more of a natural style. But I would say that's a little bit more feminine than masculine. But I just wanted to bring that up because people can have more than the other or both, or they don't associate with it. Like I guess with people who are non-binary, I could be wrong, but um, moving on. This podcast is going so well. Um, my piano experience. So let me just talk about my piano experience. So I've started my piano experience of 2024 and still continuing. Woohoo! And it's a change, because when I was in high school, I would do the marimba or the vibraphone, and I thought, I loved that instrument because, it's one is wood and one is metal, and different types of sound, and how big it is and stuff, and like also playing with the mallets and stuff. I thought it's just my comfortable instrument. It was my instrument of choice. Um, like I saw, when your band director is like, what kind of instrument are you looking to do? Like, are you looking to do like something in the percussion section, like drums or cymbals, or like do you want to be a mallet player, or do you want to do like a wind instrument? Like, do you want to do trumpet or flute, or those brass instruments and stuff like that? But no, I just like to do during that time, marimba or vibraphone. But now, since I'm doing a piano, I love it. I like the key. This I'm just throwing this out there, like I'm being funny with it. I like the keys. I like how you're able. There's white keys and black keys. If you're a non-musician, like if you look up a marimba and a vibraphone, the top and bottom keys are the same color. But if you see like a piano, there's white keys and then black keys. So I'm able to it helps me more with like I'm gaslighting y'all when I say this. It helps me play the chords, or it helps me play music more. Um I just made that up right now on the spot. But no. But it does make a distinction. Yeah, when playing on the piano or whatnot. But I need to tell you, Mike, what I just felt the other day with my private private piano instructor. So when I was playing this piece and that I was supposed to practice, and I just didn't start practicing it like a week ago as I was supposed to, or during break, and because this was a new piece, I was a little bit shaky. I was like, "Ooh, I feel, a little bit nervous because I appreciate my piano instructor. He's very patient. And whenever he tells me to do something, like there's multiple things, but I'm how do I say this? Um like this is sort of what he says, but like he's like right, left, right on finger three, right hand, middle finger, or and just I'm like I'm doing that. And I'm not telling him that, but like in my mind I'm like I'm trying to, but like my fingers are not telling me or not connecting. Like like Bluetooth, like it disconnected. Like I'm trying to connect on the keys, and then but I'm not like upset because like I said, I haven't practiced this, but the feeling that I felt, and I never felt this when I was playing on the piano. Um, like when I was trying to get to the end, I was twitching, like literally twitching. I was like, and it was weird. Like my ears were twitching, my eyes, no, not my eyes, my body, my fingers, my body, and my ears were twitching, like up and down. Like I'm able to move my ears, but I wasn't trying to do it on purpose. And that's how like I was like very out of it. Um but it was like a weird experience, and like I'm probably gonna feel that again, but it that's new. So but anyways, I do love playing piano. I'm not a perfect piano player. In fact, I do specify that I play piano, but whenever people are like, "Okay, can you play the piano?" And I'm like, "Yes, but I know it's complicated at the moment because I'm doing something basic, like what I'm reading off of a book, and it's basic and stuff. And if I try to like copy that, it's gonna take a year. So, and we don't have a year, we have a semester. So yeah, but I'm able to play the chords, thankfully. Um, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm able to play the chords. And yeah, and I do love it. And I go continuing to love it more. And if I haven't, I did mention I'm a singer, so I have more experience in that than piano, and it just takes time for my piano experience to be on that level of like my what my singing is. Like I consider my singing to be professional in the best way. So yeah. Okay, before we go to the next topic, I just wanted to it wouldn't be a podcast without like a short commercial break and an advertisement. So we'll be right back with demo podcast with your host Cosmo Star. One of the great things about Cosmo Star is he has talented star talents and content on his YouTube channel. And if you're like, well, I have nothing else to do and I'm bored, and I don't know what to go on YouTube, check out Cosmo Star. He has talented things. He has concert videos featuring Del Water Gap, the Driver Era, um a another Del Water Gap video, music, mashup music, other content like rating, fast food, vlogging. Check out his content on YouTube. And his name is Cosmostar. So, and we're back. I haven't left. I actually did that advertisement. Could you tell? Um, and that was sponsored, and I'm not getting paid, unfortunately, so that I will be contacting someone to pay me for my own advertisement so I can get paid. Anyways, um heated rivalry. Heated hot rivalry. Okay. And so this is going to be a little bit fun cuz I went. Okay, so there's been this whole thing about heated rivalry like since last year, and I haven't been keeping up to date with these movies and stuff. I'm not even on Netflix or Hulu. I'm just on YouTube videos these days because it's just a lot, and including with social media where I'm just like, I'm sick of it and I need my space and my time. Like, and there's too many things all at once. But I, I just when I keep hearing people talking about heated rivalry, and I was like, okay, let me just look into it. So I started looking to it like, okay, I started watching the episodes like last weekend, like on Friday, I think. And oh my God. Oh my God. What? It, how can I say this discreetly? Um, Never in my life have I seen so much bed, aka rated R stuff on in my eyes. Like it's just so intense. It should be called intense rivalry because it's like intense every time when these two LGBTQ plus gay people meet hockey players and just full on rated R stuff. And I'm just like, wow. And it's not like something that is new or whatnot, but the amount of times, and I wasn't even counting. I was just the amount of times I literally doing the nasty, and I'm like, wow, whoa. But I was like, okay, well, my take on this um TV show. And I think it's so very important that I mentioned this, like that even though it was heated and, it was just like hockey players meeting up one by one, like almost every hockey practice. And, but it wasn't just about, that. It was what struck to me the most of like there was like very low violence, like especially like when these things happen, or like when like it doesn't have to be like in a LG in the alphabet, movies. It could be just in general, like a straight relationship where a man and a woman, whatever how it goes, and then like they see each other from now and then sometimes things could be pretty like rough, and then violent with like it could be like I don't know how to explain it like clearly, but it's just like a lot of things um that are just sometimes it's rough to watch, and it's just and then it ends up being more like calmer at the end, and just like and that's how they're still together, whatnot. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, it was comfortable to watch for the most part because like my emotions, I was like, okay, these two guys, they obviously like each other. And you know I thought there was going to be lots of like intense violent situations, especially like when men are meeting each other, and like in a world like this where it's mostly frown upon to just show affectionate of two men together and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, that's nice, and it doesn't have to be always like that. And that's what I really appreciated. um Now the other thing I also noticed is like there was more than two actors. It's like, I don't know, two, four, six. I haven't watched all of them. I need to. I'm looking at two more episodes left. And stuff, but it's just the way that they put this whole thing into a hockey game, and like how like I'm thinking like how much they practice this this act, like the actor and the character, and actually getting in hockey things and actually like playing the sport. And also this is what I was actually thinking, sorry. The way that you know, from this TV show, it made people actually go out to hockey games. There's been reports of that, which I think it's, very um, interesting because, people who don't normally watch hockey, and then when they saw this TV show and watching it, it's just like, oh, they want to actually go out to a hockey game and learn more about it or whatnot. And that's like the almost like the Eras Tour effect or something. Or, no, not the Eras Tour effect. When Taylor and Travis were starting to see each other and stuff, and when Taylor goes to Travis games and stuff, people who didn't watch football and stuff, they went to these football games. And that's just something that you wouldn't think that's normal, like typical, but like people started going out these games and stuff. And obviously these games, these NFL, I don't know the acronyms or whatnot to shorten it for hockey or whatnot, but they're like, oh, we're making money. Yeah. But it's just like something fun to know and stuff. So, and I went to this, and I had to go to this heated rivalry club, because I was like, I need to know what's going on. Like, what's the music? Like, what is music? And obviously, who's gonna be there. It's gonna be the alphabet community. That's in the program, obviously, throughout. You know, that's what it represents. And I had a great time. Um, I had a great time. I met many people. I'm telling you, people. Listen, the way I dress every single day and serve face just makes people want to come up to me and be like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, and they're just like they compliment me, and like obviously I'm totally like, this is not non-normal. This is normal and stuff. I'm used to it, but they're like, "You look so amazing. Like, I love the boots. I love the outfit." And I'm like, "Thank you." And you know, I'm like, I know I'm that bitch. I'm always gonna go out and dress, as I should, because rule number one, I, in my book, in my fashion book, like I can't dress casually. The only thing I will, the only time I'll dress casually is when I'm going to the grocery store and when I'm at home. But when I'm at like, when I'm going to my class, I put a suit on with my boots, and then I just like surface and then come in and do my work, and then I leave as I should. But I'm not always like, I don't want to be cocky and be like, "Oh, I know." Like, and I'm always the best. Like, that's not what I don't want to perceive as that. My response is like, "Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that." And then I also compliment them back, because why not, But then by from the process of that, I met this girl. Let me just say woman, because I don't want people to be like, because there are young girls there, but let me say a woman, because a woman is adult. So I met this woman came up to me and she introduced herself, and I introduced her, and I'm excited for this night and stuff. And then later on, when the party started, and I was also with these other group of people and stuff, and she was just right beside me, and I was dancing and stuff. And then, she was just mentioning like she was bi, and I was like, "Oh, that's great." And then she asked, what what I am, and I'm like, "Well, I don't really talk about my sexuality like that because it's very personal, but I just say I'm an ally, or I'm just like, yeah, I say I'm an ally or whatnot." And I don't know. And then there's nothing much to the story, but I just talking about like uh, the kind of like how it went or whatever. And then when like almost at the end of the concert because I think she had to leave. I didn't know, and she was like, "What's your Insta?" And like, okay, this is my Insta and stuff. And then I don't know, for seconds later, she was looking at me with puppy eyes, and I was like, what? And I think she wanted me to follow her back, but then I was like, I don't have Instagram installed, so I'll do it later or whatnot. But I was like, but she didn't tell me that. I didn't know, but then I was like, what? And I was just continuing dancing, and then I turned my head because I just wanted to like, move my head and stuff like that. And then she kissed me on the side, like on my ear, and I was like, oh. And I want to say this too. I'm so glad. Well, I love my skin. I love myself as a black person. Black is strong, black is beautiful. But I'm so glad that as a black person, like you can't tell that I'm blushing or whatnot. Cause when people are light skinned or just white, you can tell it doesn't have to be like, they're blushing, but they show pink or red and stuff. For me, I just show my color. You don't see no red on these cheeks, like you can't. And if I would be like, so I don't know if I'd be embarrassed if I did, like if I were be able to show that type of emotion, but I just wanted to say that. But I was like, oh, that was nice. Okay. Which is not like something not normal. I mean, that has happened before where someone like another woman, I don't know, from some other time, like kissed me on the side of the cheek or on the neck or whatnot. I don't know. I know for one thing, I'm hot. I'm also cute and I'm also sexy. So not full of myself. I just know I'm just telling the truth. So I'm just like I go on my day and stuff. But I just wanted to bring that up. Next up, and actually we're almost running out of time, but let's speed this up. So club experience. So I wanted to say this. Hold on, let me drink my lemon pink lemonade and also mix with fruit punch. I wanted to say this. So number one, and I'm not gonna go over the list and stuff like that, but whenever I go into the clubs and stuff like that, obviously I'm gonna dance and stuff like I'm gonna dance. I'm also gonna sometimes twerk depending on the song. But like, women do whatever they want. But like if men I don't get with men again, with like and it's just obviously honestly it doesn't have to be just men in this situation, but like people like that are just standing while music is playing. I don't get that. I'm like, why are you here? Like, this is a club and you're supposed to shake some whatever or dance. At least some movement. Like, I get with the head thing, but I need to some movement or something. Like, I don't get that. Like, just don't be. I'm not trying to be rude, but don't be here. Like, maybe you should play some music on your phone and then chill out with yourself. If it's with around other people and you're just standing there while other people are dancing, it's awkward and like it fucks with the vibe. So I don't get that. And I'm directly telling to the men out there, like, don't go to a club or whatnot if you're just gonna stand there and just do nothing. Okay, doesn't make sense. Moving on. Um, this podcast. So music. I started, so I listen to a lot of music. Um, Mostly pop, but I have ventured on to rock and indie and stuff. And I just wanted to share what this year I have been listening to. And these artists, you know, are new to me. Most of them are new, like new in the music industry and stuff. Um, but some of them have been around, but it just depends on, when I started listening to them more or whatnot. So there's a mix in things, but these are people that are new and I've been listening to from the past, from at least from this year. So I have been listening to Dijo, Izzy Escobar, Benson Boone, Bruno Mars, Claro, Role Model, Raven, Olivia Dean, and Wallows. There are other people, but those are mostly the people that I've been listening to. And I just wanted to say this first. With Benson Boone, you know, I don't understand the hate. It happens with these new artists where you listen to them or like you hear it on TikTok or whatnot, and they're famous, their number one hit song replays and replays, and you're just sick of it. I get it, but what I don't get is like hating, like because of that, like it it it, it you take it upon yourself and being like, I hate this music, I hate Benson Boone because of this song, like Moonbeam ice cream, taking off your blue jeans, dancing in the movies, cause it feels so, and it's just like, hold on, I understand your situation, but like you don't have to like the person, but you don't have to hate the person, because they have a song and it just happens to be popular and other people are either, doing the TikToks of that song or, just in general, listening to it and it happens to be popular. Like that's how music gets out when it gets popular like that. Like the pop is doing the pop is doing the popping. So, and at first I was like the Moonbeam ice cream song. I wasn't on TikTok. I said TikTok. I meant TikTok. I just been hearing it on Instagram, and honestly, it didn't really irritate me. I was it's just in general with me hearing songs and not hearing the whole song. I just rather want to hear the whole song. And so when I ventured on to Benson Boone and I started listening to him, I was like, I was like, first of all, I'm sorry that many people had this way of you and thinking that you're a bad artist and make bad music. And uh, I get because they don't know that, they just don't that's their reason of not listening to you. But like for me, I'm actually really happy that I listened to his music or listened to his album, because there are a lot of songs that I have liked on one of the albums I have picked, and I was like, I'm tired. I'm so sick and tired of like, and I do it too sometimes where I listen to a clip of a song and I'm like, uh, just so over it. But when I actually hear the whole song, it's not actually that bad. And then when I start, if it depends on if I do actually want to listen to that song a lot. And then when I do like that song, I go repeat, repeat, repeat. And I'm like, okay, I actually get it. I'm not a hater. I wasn't a hater in the first place. I was just actually trying to not like listen to the hate and like and then be dragged into it and then agreeing with it. That's not me, and I'm trying not to be like that. So props for Benson Boone doing his own thing and putting out music. I really like it, and I just wanted to say that to Benson Boone. And I know other artists, or the same way with like Somber, or like they people are just like I hear the same, how can we go back to being friends when we just shared a bit? Like, I know that's his top song, but he has other, other songs like 12 to 12, what just came out, Homewrecker. That's actually my favorite song. Top one of my top favorite songs of from Somber. So, with these new artists, they need to keep doing what they need to do, and obviously they're not going to listen to the hate. And and I just want to throw this out there. Like one day I will be that artist where I'll be able to tour and do whatever I want and then grow as a person, and gonna have people listen to my music, and other people, that are critics and haters, and I'm not gonna, care about what they say because, not everyone is going to enjoy your music, but I know there's gonna be people that are gonna enjoy my music. Can I get an amen? Hell no. Um, so moving on, and also I love role model like Sally. Mm, that feeling's coming around. Please don't falling back in love, then disappear when the wine runs out. Sorry. Um, and then Raven, my favorite song, um, it's obviously well, I would say Sticky, but also Love Me Not. That's my favorite song. Olivia Dean, talk to me, be the man that I need. Talk to me, be the man. Mm, mm. That's sorry, my mic cut out a little bit, but that's my favorite song, and it's so easy to fall in love. That song too. Sorry. Let's move on. Um. Okay, so I'm very pop. So I wanted to. I keep saying I wanted to say this because honestly, I'm still a little bit overstimulated, and I'm trying to get through these. We only have a couple minutes left, uh, so what I said is I'm very pop. So what that means is like to me, like the people in this classroom that I have worked with, or I have listened to their songs or whatnot, like I would say 95%, we don't have the same music taste, and that's okay because honestly, that's okay. It's not like a bad thing. But I think the only music taste that we have in common is Radiohead and maybe what's that uh let's just say Radiohead. Yeah. The only thing is like we're related to is Radiohead. Like I thought they would be like into Arctic Monkeys or what's that? Um that's an example. But not that common, which is okay. But I just wanted to say because from explaining that, that clearly means that I am the pop king here. I listen to a lot of pop music than everyone else because let me tell you something. Let me go over, people like on Spotify of who I listen to, and that is popular. And before I get into it, like with these genres and stuff, I know genres are just separate, or it's just everything is music, okay? And I had this like discussion a few months ago. I think it was last year or something. And I was telling my music director, I mean my music teacher, he's both. He earned those titles. And I was just like, hey, I think I like rock music. I'm starting to like rock music more. And then he's like, okay, who's that rock music? And I was like, Arctic Monkeys. I was like, oh, that's pop. I was like, what? And I was like, let me do another one. I really like what's some okay, Delwater Gap. Okay, he was more on an indie artist, but I'm just throwing that out there. And he's like, that's pop. And then okay, let me do okay, role model pop, the Driver era pop. And I was like, he's like everything you listen to is pop. And I was like, listen. And I was like, and this was not heated or anything, but I was just like, what do you mean? Like some of these things are considered, rock, like, like Omar Apollo. Like there's a lot of guitar riff or okay, so what does rock, mean to you or whatnot? I don't think he say that, but I'm just saying in my head, like, so what does the rock mean to you and stuff like that. But it's not that deep again. Like obviously the majority of people that I've listened to is pop, but I thought pop was just like popular, but it is, but also like like its own genre, and then like rock is like rock music. Like when I think of rock music, I think of the Beatles, and it's like, but like, is that because it's not popular, but it's still people still listen to it. But anyways, I just wanted to list the people that mostly listen to from time to time, and I added on my Spotify because I am that pop king. So One Direction, Harry Styles, Role Model, The Driver Era, um, Dijo, Olivia Dean, Megan Thee Stallion, The Beatles, Benson Boone, Addison Rae, Sam Smith, Queen, Cohen Gray, the 1975, Charlie XCX, Peso Pluma, Clara, Sabrina Carpenter, Wallows, Mariah Carey, Bad Bunny, Normani, Omar Apollo, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Britney Spears, Somber, Jonas Brothers, Kelly Clarkson, Rosalia, Tate McRae. Wait, Take Mc Take McRae? Yeah. Barry White, Fifth Harmony, Madonna, Post Malone, Ava Max, Callie Euchris. And I'm by the way, disclaimer, I'm so sorry to if I pronounce your name wrong. I'm bad at pronouncing names clearly. Lizzo, Tame Impala, Pink Panthers, Kesha, I'm sorry. Dayclo, Royal Otis, Ice Spice, Zara Larson, Prince, George Michael, Bruno Mars, Secure, Oasis, Bon Lavier, okay, Cupcake, Del Water Gap, Kahoot, Subway Surfers, The National, Girl in Red, Alex Turner, The Strokes, Ed Sheeran, Kendrick Lamar, 21 Pilots, Lafe. Wait. Lewe. Not it's not Lafe, it's Lewe. Yeah. Phoebe Bridgers, Maggie Rogers, Tyler the Creator, Ray. Baby, where the hell is my husband? What is taking him so long to find me? Baby. That cut out, but whatever. Bleachers, Troy Sivan, Madison Veer, Florence and the Machine, Hozier, I'm sorry, Selena Gomez, Liam Payne, Zayn, Halsey, Current Joys, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, Charlie Puth, Gracie Abrams. Oh my god, this is killing me right now. The Weekend, Dua Lipa, Adele, Weezer, Paramore, Coldplay, Sia, Imagine Dragons, Wham, Michael Jackson, Doja Cat, that actually cut out. Oh, Katy Perry, Rihanna, Radiohead, Arctic Monkeys, TV Girls, SZA, Lana Del Rey, Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, Ariana Grande, Chaperone, I'm your favorite artist, best artist, Lord, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and my queen, my mother, Taylor Swift. So, obviously, the majority of these artists are popular, but there are some that are influenced by rock or influenced by rap. But obviously, all these are just genres, and music is music. Okay, we're running out of time. My reflection and a reflection of music. So, right now, I just wanted to say that things have been different as playing with music. I'm not singing as of right now because I just wanted to say like there's things that haven't been working out with, and I want to say this as well that one of the toughest things for anyone is working with people. And one, I think, I know myself so much, and I'm such a hard worker, and I love to work. And I think my pet peeve is when people don't work, and especially if we're in a work environment. And I know, you can have fun with music and stuff like that, but like the chaos of just knowing every single rehearsal or something, like there's always like goofing off, and I'm just like, so sick of it inside. And I'm just like, why is this happening every single time? And I'm just like, honestly, it's not me. It's not my problem because at the end of the day, I just want to do this. I want to get as much opportunity in this class or of the classes I have took so that I can have the tools for the next chapter, which I will be transferring to ASU. And things that haven't been working out, that's obviously not my control, and I just decided, let me just have a different path. And it does have something on me, like I miss singing, but I know if I continue on, I wouldn't enjoy it. And so I just decided to just do percussion or whatnot. And I'm actually doing like maybe a piano piece, but I don't know what's going on with 1979 Smashing Pumpkins because when I firstly was introduced to it, I was playing the regular key. And now I did not get any heads up or whatnot that it's in a different key or something. So I'm like, what's going on? So I don't know what's going on with that, but I will be checking in next Monday to ask questions and clarifications of that. But anyways, towards like my reflection of music, I have been continuing to do what I can as myself independently. I mean, there's so much work to be done still, but just focusing on forcing myself to do more things like strangle myself and listening to 30 minutes of music theory while walking to somewhere or like putting on these music, the education I've been learning, and I'm just like typing it in on YouTube and like, music theory or perception or how to play piano and starting to force myself listening to these things so that maybe I can sound like a robot and like know and talk and sound like I know what I'm doing because one of the things that I struggle with is explaining there's so much to music. And I want to say this as well. Whenever Noah oh um, oh well, you're mentioned in the podcast, Noah. Is that okay? Okay. Well, Noah's my teacher, guys. But I tell people I it's so great. It's so amazing how Noah, my teacher, knows so much in his brain. Like it's just like he's better than Chat GBT, like explaining stuff. Like it's just he's just so like he is better than Chat GBT. Like before GBT like existed, he has all this knowledge. It's just like it's so crazy. And like for me, I'm like, well, what did I learn? I learned a, a pentatonic scale. I may not be able to show it to you, but I know it exists. but but what I've been mostly I get like stuck with me is like learning the chords and stuff. And also I know how to do the scales and stuff. I may mess up, but I know how to do the scales. So we only have 1 minute. Okay, we're gonna 60 seconds. So, events that are happening, that I'm going to like, okay, so the ASU event, there's an ASU event for a music concert. I mean, conference. I'm going to that. I'm going to another, party, and it's like the 2000s theme party, and that's tomorrow. And I'm going to the Devil Wears Prada. That's in also in like there's a premiere that I'm going to have a great look and stuff. And there's also another one that's coming up, but I mean we only have 1 minute left, so or less than a minute. But I'm so excited for next year, graduating and eventually transferring to ASU and stuff. And I also just am very happy to just make this demo podcast or whatnot, to just get out of my comfort zone and just say whatever in a respectful way. And like I mentioned before, airing is I asked my instructor, like, hey, can I cuss a little bit? And he was like, yeah, but make sure you're not crazy with it. And like, I won't. That's not me. That's not my style. But anyways, I really appreciate this time that I made with myself. I want to thank so much of this production, which is Logic Pro, and also Google Docs for just me thanking Google Docs and Logic Pro. But I just wanted to thank myself for just having the idea. And this was kind of a last minute thing, but and this has been over a minute. This has been a last minute thing, but I just wanted to do something different. And like, why not? Because I've been doing my work. You know, there's obviously much more work to do because, you know, it's still the semester and it's things, I'm ending it and stuff like that. But I'm getting the things done. And so I'm really proud of it. And I'm proud that I brought my microphone, my wireless microphone, and then my Xbox headphones. So thank you so much for listening. This is Cosmo Star, and this is Demo Podcast with your host Cosmo Star. Thank you.